Hi, this is Chris Jagazia from Off to Class, and this is our last video in our series about how to get your ESL school online. And in this video, we're really going to be focusing on the fourth piece of infrastructure, the education infrastructure that you need to make a decision on to get your ESL school online. To me, this is the most important piece of infrastructure when it comes to getting your ESL school online. And by education infrastructure, we really mean the content that you're going to be using for your live interactive synchronous lessons, and the asynchronous component, like the homework that gets sent to students after every class for them to complete between the synchronous lessons, and placement testing that you're going to be using when you're putting new students onto your platform. So let's begin. So when it comes to synchronous online lessons, the content that you need is a little bit different from what you typically use in a physical classroom. You're going to be wanting to use content that is very much designed to be teacher-led, because your teachers are going to be animating this live for your students in a live classroom. So you can tell from like a slide like this, there's a lot of space for teachers to kind of expand the content, work on the content, and it's really, suited to that conversational approach of a teacher leading students through a lesson. At the same time, it's not overly prescriptive. It's not like a course book or a dense kind of PDF that you download off the internet, or a printed lesson plan designed for a classroom. It really isn't necessarily to be designed to be followed like one slide after another. Teachers can like choose to jump between slides. Teachers can go to their own content that they might have saved to pair with the lesson. Another important point to make is that the content can actually be edited by both teachers and students in real time. That's really important because you want students to be able to type into the content, potentially give them access to like the pen tool, so you can really take over the power of the online environment. And finally, you definitely want to be able to use content that is adaptable. So that means that teachers have different controls that they can use, potentially to run translates, image search, dictionaries, to really bring the content alive for their students in real time. So that's really talking about the synchronous content. One more point on the synchronous content: you want to be able to deliver teacher notes to your teachers in real time without exposing them to students. Ideally so that everything's fitting on one screen, but students aren't able to see those teacher notes. So for example, here, as I move slides, my teacher notes are moving with me, but when my students join the lessons, they don't see the teacher notes on their side. And just a little point about the asynchronous content. Ideally, the way you're kind of going to be developing your system is that there's that synchronous live lesson between teachers and students in real time, and that those synchronous lessons are followed up by asynchronous lessons. But to make sure that those asynchronous lessons have like still a very teacher-led feel, you're going to want to make sure that the homework really leads directly from the synchronous lesson. So, the model that we've seen that really works is we have a synchronous online lesson, and then right after, students are directed to review the lesson materials and take that asynchronous piece of homework right after class, so then the teacher can get evidence that they've really grasped those primary objectives that were discovered in the synchronous lesson. I hope you've enjoyed the series, and we're looking forward to working with you on your journey to take your ESL school online.